Howdy folks, welcome back to the Nakamala Arc, and we are back in the 50 states tour where we are flying in each of the 50 states. The only rule is that we take off and land in that state. And this is leg 33, which is New York. It is a New York state, and we're going to fly over some long lakes, not Long Island. We're going to fly over some long lakes that I found on the map. And it's long enough that it's worth taking the 1900D out. It's about 100 nautical miles. We are starting at Perry-Warsaw Airport in Perry, New York, and we're going to fly to Hamilton Municipal in Hamilton, New York. I think we're going to fly over as many as 6 lakes. Anyway, road weather is turned on. Clear skies here, but it's super cloudy at the destination. So we'll see if that updates. I have updates set to every 15 minutes. It should be about a 40-minute flight. So the weather should update for us and get those clouds in there when it's appropriate. And we're going to use the GPS approach. I printed off both GPS approaches so that when we see the weather, we can change approaches if we need to. The weather, I don't know which way the winds are blowing. I think it's light and variable at the moment, even though it's cloudy. So what we'll do is we will pick a runway, and then if the weather changes, we'll just change a runway. So that's what we'll do. We're going to try to use the GPS built-in approach because that's actually been working, but I have the approaches printed out so that I can see the fixes and line up that way. Otherwise, we are, I think it's pretty much the northwest corner, sort of, or at least the western edge of New York State, if I remember when I planned this flight, even though I planned this flight many, many months ago. Otherwise, we're in my favorite aircraft, the frame rate killer, the Carenado B1900D 4X-Plane 11. And if you've forgotten, the reason why I have this plane, this is my first purchase of a payware many years ago, was because this is the very first plane my own children flew in. I wasn't with them, unfortunately, but this is their first airplane experience, is this plane in the Marvin Windows livery to fly from Minneapolis to Warroad, Minnesota, when they're really tiny. They don't even remember it. I've told them about it. They're like, yes, we've been in a big jet. I'm like, it was a 19-seat turboprop, but if they remembered as a jet when they were young, then they'll remember it as a jet. Otherwise, that's why I have this thing. I'm going to try to overcome the suction issue when we land, and otherwise, I think we're ready to fly. I think. So let's see, what do we need to do here? Let's look at my checklist. Let's get the fuel ready first. And see here, 2-hour flight's not gonna be a 2-hour flight. Let's do hour 45 though. It shouldn't even be near it's not gonna be that long either. But let's see. Otherwise, world weather's turned on. It's early afternoon, so there we go. All right, we gotta get the battery going first here. So that's gonna be battery there. The lights the way we want them. I already have all the lights up there, cabin, everything is all already set the way I want. So if we look back here, there we go. Everything's all bright and lit up so people can find their way and get their self situated. All right, let's see. Tail flood is already on. Let's turn recog on now. Anti-collision is already on ground. Let's hop outside because we're going to remove our static elements with the ground crew here, and passenger and baggage door are going to close as well. And let's hop inside for the cabin door, which is a click spot right there. All right, awesome. Let's see, we can hop back up here now and turn our emergency lights off, test, and normal, which there's a click spot as well to the side. And let's pick up our EFIS. Get that going. Alrighty. Parking brake should be set, and it is right there in the middle of your screen. Fuel switches now. So we are going to go on, auto, view the main tank, view the auxiliary. Now this is just viewing, it's not selecting, and this uses the auxiliary first. Let's close the wing windows while we're at it because I always forget that. Let's reset everything here, nice and gently. Alright, engine auto igniter, here we go. Let's do the left engine first today. And, oh, sim crashed. There we go. Let's hold that till it gets to 15, and then we will introduce the conditioners. We should only introduce low idle, but I don't think it grabs. Let's try it anyway. And they're both going to go up because I only have one axis, and the yoke is low idle going to grab today. And today it is. See, some days it works, some days it doesn't. I don't know if it's my Windows interpretation of... Whoops, wrong one. My Windows interpretation of the mapping of the yoke or what, but today it's working. Good, so we'll use low idle. Good. And that is already stabilized. Hear my ramblings. Let's turn the generator on and do the right engine, which will spin up much more quickly because the conditioners are already up and through editing. And there we go. Simple as that. Alright, 59 something, 58 something, right generator, close the cover, turn off the igniters, and avionics switch, where are you? There you are. AC bus, you're right there. And I'm syncing my gyros too. Alright, let's see here, turn off external power. And the rudder boost, which is down here between the seats. And climate on the co-pilot side. We'll do bleed rear while we're here. Turn on the bleeder, turn on the furnace, turn on the blowers, test overspeed, test the stall. Let's do auto temp, and let's do auto, and it's going to get to 120 degrees in here. That's kind of funny. What else is down here? Oh, fire test stuff. Okay. Ooh, flight. 6 hours? I've flown this more than 6 hours. I've flown this... I wonder if that actually moves. Let's see if I remember to check that. I'm totally going to forget. But in this video, 5.9. Let's see in another video if that actually moves, because I swear I've gone more than 6 hours in this thing. I have to have done more than 6 hours in this thing. Alright, so let's see here. Flight plan in the GPS. Alright, so let's clear out the previous flight plan, which in real life was yesterday. No, 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Oh, I think my videos, I think they're back to back in upload. Alright, so we're at 101G. And we are going to now in the real world, it's Kilo Victor Golf Charlie. But in the sim, because I don't have my flight data updated, it's actually Hotel 30. So let's do together Hotel 3. I love my mouse wheel on this one. 0. I hope that's going to show up. 0's before 1. What am I thinking? There we go. Alright, so there's that. Well, let's load the procedure here. So, there's none in the database. So, okay, the reason why I'm laughing is because if you remember, I usually do my approaches completely manually, right? But today, I wanted to do it built-in GPS because it's been working, and the day I want to do it that way. It's not working, so we have to do it manually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually insert a waypoint here. I'm going to put in Vespi because I want to see the lakes before we do the approach. What I'll do is I'll just go to Vespi, and then I think once we're in the air and we get close enough to get the weather on the map, that's when I'll put in the approach. So very different for us for several reasons. One, that I'm not doing the full approach right now. And 2, we can't pick an approach, so let's see. Let's go direct there. I know it already says that, but it seems to help to do it again for some reason. And let's clear that out. And let's get out the flight plan. And there we go. So what we'll do is, like I said, as we get closer and the weather shows up on the map, we will come back in here and we will put in everything else. You know, the other waypoints based on the approach, based on weather, and then I guess we can't really do vertical nav. Maybe we can because we can base it on the airport and then make adjustments after we have other waypoints in here. Anyway, I'm really hoping we use runway 17 because it's an offset approach. I don't think we've ever done one of those technically. Our approaches are often offset, but I mean on purpose. So I'm kind of hoping we get to use runway 17. Otherwise, as the crow flies, if the winds are light and variable, it makes more sense to do runway 35 from where we are. So we'll just see how that goes. Anyway, that is our flight plan. We'll do vertical nav in the air, even though it's really short. So it's kind of risky to do it after we get the weather, but whatever. And we'll do the approach after we are in the air. So GPS there. Let's see what else we want to do. Avidyne. Let's just declutter a little bit and do forward just because we can. Radios and instruments. Not really, because we're using GPS for everything. Altimeter and barometer. So let's see. We have the weather turned on. What is it going to be? 3002. We can't see our destination yet, can we? We are going to H30 in the sim. There's only 2 of the lakes. Yeah, it's not even close. Not even close. Alright, so what's the 3002 for where we are right now? Let's see here. Yes, it is. Okay, 3002. And this one I can see without zooming in. So let's do 3002. There we go. Alright, what is next? Test the lights. I have a preset for that. Everything's looking good. Bulbs don't burn out and stuff in this aircraft. In some aircraft they do, like the 727. Bulbs will burn out. Alright, let's see. Cabin pressure. We already did bleed air. So let's go here. And we're going to fly at 16,000 today. So let's do 17,000 there. We'll spin this thing around as we need to. Again, this isn't even the real pressure thing in this aircraft, plus parts are missing. So we do the best we can. We do what the simulator has to offer. Alright, auto feather set to arm, which I can't see anymore. It's over here somewhere. There we go. It's our red one. Generator ties closed. There we go. Anti-ice stall warning and all these fun little things we can flip around. Let's do normal today. We normally don't do anything, but let's do it just because we can. Prop sync on. And we can put this back in there. We can push the TCAS thing. And autopilot set up. So what I said, we're going to do 16 Ks today. So there's 12, 13, 14, and 16. There you go. And autopilot setup is super easy. All we're going to do is follow the GPS and climb at 2,200 feet. And everything else is already set. There we go. And we have to engage autopilot. Where's engage with this? Because remember, if I use my preset, it seems to stall my yoke. I don't know what's going on, but we'll use that to engage and disengage, or something like that. Otherwise, we are ready to get out of here. Taxi lights, where are you? On. And first set of flaps down. And I think we're going to taxi out of here. Conditioner's already low idle. Props forward. Those should change sound. Oh, not from the outside. On the inside, they change sound, though. There you go. Props to taxi. Anyway. Here we go. Light variable. So we're just going to grab the runway off to the right here. If we can get going. Because we're off road. We're off the pavement. So, thanks. There we go. Finally. And away we go. So, I don't even know what runway this is. Let's see. What are we facing? Right now we're facing about 100, so 100 plus 180 is 28, maybe 27. So this runway, that should be like 27-ish, I guess. We'll see what it is when we get there. But I'm going to taxi through, skip ahead, I'll catch you on the runway. Alright, there's a nice little lake, maybe for water runoff or something. Alright. Slowing this thing down so we can make this corner somewhat realistically. And we'll see if this is runway like 28. I'm thinking it's, it has to be around 28 because it's not going to be due west. Alright, let's see if we can do a few things while we're pulling out here. I really doubt we can, but we're going to get landing lights on. Turn taxi lights off. That can go to flight. Cabin comes off. Reading stays on. Flood comes off. Cabin comes off. Did I do it? Oh. Nope. Anyway, the cabin now looks like this. All nice and dark and ready to go. Let's see. What is this runway called? I'm very curious now. Looks like runway 28 it is. So there we go. Let's brake this thing and parking brake. There we go. Alright, end of runway. Flaps down, yes. Lights did that. Lights, lights, lights. Trim for takeoff. Bring this back like that, I think does well. Heading bug, and that's just in case I screwed up autopilot. It'll go runway heading. You just push that. That's easy enough. Start the stopwatch. Can't see that far. And there we go. Flight timer. And there we go. So conditioners to high idle, props all the way forward, And away we go. Parking brake is off. Throttle's all the way forward. And we'll rotate about 95 or so. Wow, this thing is STOL. Look how fast we're going already. And I'm having a really hard time going straight. There you go. Lift off. I said lift off. There we go. Oh, what? Oh, my yoke's all the way back. What's going on? All right, gear coming in. Flaps coming in. And as soon as we get 22, we'll engage autopilot. There we go. We are hands-free. Gears up. Flaps are in. Autopilot's engaged. We're just going to book around here and have a nice view over the farmland. What a great takeoff. Oh, is that awesome? We're just going to enjoy this a minute. We got 5 minutes before we start on fire. Let's just enjoy this. Wow. So nice and hazy and farmland. Let's go the other side. Sky. Cool. Let's look outside a moment. Look at that. Get some screenshots while we can. He's turning us all the way around. I don't even know where the airport is already. There it is, right over the center. Around and around we go. Alright, we gotta get in here and bring back stuff so we don't start a fire. So we want to bring back the torque and the props. Keep them in the green. There we go. So starting at the top, we got 2 greens. 2 almost greens. There we go. 2 greens, greens, greens. Awesome. And we're going to follow our GPS. Just like that. Looks like it's going to really circle us around. Anyway, so now what do we need to do? Not much. We just need to wait to get our weather so we know which runway we're going to do. And then once we do that, we'll manually put in the approach. Otherwise, it's going to be a sightseeing trip until those clouds kick in. So let me just go over the checklist here. I don't really have one except calculate VNAV, which we got to do. So landing lights off at 10 grand, calculate VNAV. Once we have the airport we're going to go to and we put in the waypoints. Otherwise, we're intentionally heading to Vespi so we can catch all the lakes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some sightseeing of some lakes. I'm going to try to catch as many as I can and try not to edit them out on accident. And I'll catch you when it's time to play with that GPS a little bit. Alright, so we've been looking at some long lakes. There's like 12 of these things. I just looked at the map. There's literally like 12 of these. So there's like 5 in front of us that I can see. And then we hop outside. There are a bunch more that we already passed, like 5 or 6. So looking good. Let's have some wing views here. We'll see what the passengers get to see from the right side. Some lakes and rivers, and then the left side. Some lakes and rivers. Not really, because we're flying over them. And hello everybody. Alright, so we have some things to do. The map doesn't quite have our destination yet, but I've been checking all these airports. Actually, oh, mine just popped in. H30, there it is. Okay, we can get the actual weather. So here we go, 110. So that means runway 17 it is. Very nice. Altimeter 3008, we'll change that in a moment. Because 110 means the wind is coming from 110. Runway 17 means you're facing 170 degrees. So you want to match, if you drop the 0, you get 11 with the wind. So you want the numbers 17 and 11 are way closer than 35 and 11. So you want runway 17. Good, it's going to work out the way we wanted. And what was that? Barometer 3008. In fact, we can probably put that in now because we are getting closer. So 28, there we go. And autopilot's going to get mad at us, but too bad. Our speed is doing okay, everything is fine. We're cruising along. So let's get, oh, look at that sun, I can barely see the GPS. Let's get everything in the way we want it now. So let's go to our flight plan, and we are going to put in here, we are going to put in this approach. So what fix do we want to use? Because this, let's see, Unini is 4.5 miles out. Do you want more room than that? The next one then, after 4 is 6, which is 10. Let's go 10 miles out. Why not? We'll see a few more of these little lakes. So here, let's put in Hinnap, I think it says. There we go. That one's in there. And then next we want to put in Unini. Now remember, in the United States, all of these waypoints mean something to the locals. The easiest example to understand is Orlando. The airports down there are all Disney characters, for example. In Duluth, Minnesota, you have home of Aunt Cirrus, because that's the Sears headquarters, and things like that. So they mean something to the locals. Out in Pennsylvania, I think I was able to recognize those two. But always, for the most part, I have no idea what they mean. But they do mean something. So I don't know what Unini means. But it means something to the locals. There we go. And after Unini, it is Dipper. Is that what that says? Yep, Dipper in my dark office here. So let's get Dipper in there. And it should pop in OPQR. Where's my alphabet? There we go. Then after Dipper is the runway. So there we go. So now we can do VNAV. In VNAV, we want to be at, let's see, well, that's 3,400, so 3,000 at Unini. So let's do 3,000 feet above sea level at Unini. There we go. And 800 feet per minute. And we need to already descend, 1,000 feet. So there we go. So we already need to descend. VSR is 1,000 and climb means we have to come down now at 1,000 feet per minute. So let's bring the autopilot down to, let's see, we're going to take over before too long. Let's bring it down to 2,400, but we'll be taking over by then, I would think. So let's actually go down to 2,000. And we are simply then going to hit descend, make that 1,000, and we'll just bring back throttles a little bit so we don't overspeed. Come back down here. What is our VSR at? It's 1,100 almost. So if that gets to 1,100, then I have to do 1,200 because I think it's even numbers or something on autopilot. So there we go. I'm going to keep an eye on that. And let's see, 27 miles. So as our approach looks like this. See, not bad at all. And it's offset, so obviously we're going to have visual at the last moment once you reach minimums. But 5 minutes to there, so not bad at all. Cooking right along. VNAV's climb up to about 11. So let's check our speed now. We don't overspeed. No, we'll keep it up. All right, so there we go. Simple as that. This thing is simple to fly. Well, I guess maybe simple for me because this is what I used to fly most. So I just need my approach played out for the altitudes, but we're aiming for 3,000 at Unini, and we'll probably be manually flying by that right after that, maybe. Maybe let autopilot go a little bit longer. 170 degrees. The wind is coming from 110. We'll have a little bit of crosswind from the left, which is difficult on my yoke because my rudders are my yoke, so I would have to go left wing down right rudder, which means I have to pull back the left rudder with my left hand. Oh boy, that's going to be tough. I really need rudder pedals, but I can't justify the money. But I really need rudder pedals. It would make my life so much easier with landing. I know I talk about that a lot. Alright, anyway, we're coming down steeply because we need to. Let's check that VSR one more time. We're up to over 1100. So let's bring this to 12. And we'll just keep an eye on it. That means this will slow down then back to 1000 and then I'll bring it back. You get the idea. So I'm going to play around with my speed and my descent rate. And landing lights at 10 grand. What else do we need to do? That is it. Because next will be flaps and gear, which obviously we're much too early for that. Just a little bit more sightseeing. And I'll be back with you in a moment. Well, Syracuse should be right out that window because there's a big lake there. And oh, there's the weather. So I was going to say two things. There's Syracuse right out the window in the distance. And number two, the weather hasn't updated to give us our clouds that we were promised. But there we go. Just as I was going to say it. Weather kicks in. Now we got clouds. It looks like they go to the ground though. So if we can't see what we're doing, we'll raise the clouds. Because in real life, it is not IFR conditions. It's visual in real life right now. I checked. So we'll see what we have to do. Otherwise, well, we're below 10,000 feet. I was waiting for you all to turn the lane lights on because we normally don't get to talk about that. And we should be making our turn any second. So there we go. See, everything's coming together. There we go. Let's look out the wing for this one. Although we're just going to see some soup, I guess. Otherwise, review the landing checklist or approach checklist. Basically, just come down, get your weather, landing lights on, flaps and gear when it's time. So not much else to talk about there. Get my approach plate out because that's more important at the moment. 3,400 at high nap, 3,000 at Unini, 2,400 after that, and then it'll be time to land manually by that point. So let's see, where are we at? Alright, looks like we got a little bit of a right turn at the next waypoint, and that's where we want to be at 3,400. Yeah. And then 3,000 after that. But if we stay on the VSR, which is 967, and I had moved this, by the way, to 1,000. So we're right on target there. The next stage then would be to slow down a little bit so we can manage flaps and gear and manage the rest of our descent. But we're going to keep hauling until we're about a minute away from that turn. And then we'll start slowing down, and then flaps and gear will come out right after that turn, because that's only like 5 miles, I think I said it was. And then we need to get serious. as though we're not already serious enough, right? So you guys zoom that in a little bit more. There we go. We're 4 minutes out, nothing else to do here, so we'll do 15 or 20 seconds of sightseeing, and then I'll catch you in a minute to make this turn and slow it down and get flaps and gear all about the same time. I'll see you in a moment. Looking at our fuel, we're not even going to use the auxiliary tank, let alone the main tank. I put in way too much fuel, but that is okay. All right, what are we doing here? Still 2 minutes out. I'm going to start slowing this down a little by little here, and then I'll kick back as soon as we make this corner, which through editing will be in a second here. Our VSR is getting closer to 800, so I bumped us to 800 feet per minute. So even though this is our profile, this is what we actually need. And then we're about a minute and a half out, 2 minutes out to make our turn. Alright, we're about to make our turn, so let's slow this thing way down so we're in the 160 to 180 range. Not the 220 range when we make this turn, because we got 7 seconds. Alright, let's look out the window for this. While I listen to the engines, they just don't slow down too much, because I'm not going to be looking at our speed. So hopefully we don't get too slow as I'm looking out the window, not my gauges. But this is all the sightseeing we're going to get, because we have to land the plane, and it's offset approach. So there we go. Let's hop back up front now. Oh, just went below the clouds, so we'll be able to see what we're doing. Very good. I don't see a beacon or anything yet. Maybe we won't. Good, our speed is still good. Alright, and what does our profile say? Or VSR? Ooh, we gotta come way up because we're still 800. And it's going to that and climbing, so let's do 400. Actually, I'd rather be on 6. Alright, there we go. Minute and a half away from there. So let's, there's that and 4 and then another 4. So let's see here. So we get gear down. Yeah, let's get gear down. It's going to cause some drag. We'll just stay outside that white arc. Still don't see a beacon or anything. But I'm going to use my approach plate now and not worry about the VSR so much. So the next waypoint, we want to be at 3 grand. And we're at 3,700. And it says to descend at 4 because we're coming up too quickly, it means. So let's go to 4. There we go. Alright, so now we're just going to use our chart and our gauges, not worry about that GPS so much. So the next waypoint, we want to be at 3 grand. And we're getting a little slow. We'll get first set of flaps out at that next waypoint. So let's keep our speed up a little bit, just because we don't want to risk stalling or anything. I still don't see an airport or a beacon. I'm thinking that open space in the dead center of your screen by the water is the airport. Although, no, it can't be because we got 2 waypoints yet in between there. Not exactly sure. Oh well, let's see. Let's bring that back down because it said so. That's the last time I'll check that thing. Alright, otherwise, we have to be at 3,200. We want to be at 3 grand in 20 seconds. That's going to work out. Then at the next waypoint, we want to be at 2,400. And that's when we'll kill autopilot. I still don't see the airport though. There's our waypoint. Let's get our first set of flaps out, and it's going to float because autopilot does not like flaps. Oh, good. Okay, a little bit of throttle though to keep us about 140 or so, and it's going to come down now to make up for it because that's how autopilot hunts around. That might be the airport in the clearing there. I guess it could be, maybe. Otherwise, we want to be at 2,400 at Dipper, I think, and that's when we'll kill autopilot. And then we're going to go visual, although I don't see the airport yet. And I really want to look around, but we better not, so let's do it anyway. Just a quick, whoops, wrong buttons there. Very nice. All right. Oh yeah, that is the airport, it looks like, in the runway, I think. Seems like we're kind of high if it is, but 27. And, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's kill autopilot. And we're going to use this to do it. All right, there we go. And if I yank my yoke around or whatever, my throttle, I can get to control the airplane. There it is. Yeah, that's a runway, isn't it? I can't really tell. If it is, that is really offset. Yeah, that must be the runway. All right, so let's keep our speed up here just a little bit. Second set of flaps now. So gear down, flaps. We have a crosswind from the left if the weather is telling the truth. So technically we want to do left main down, right rudder, which for me, because my yoke has the rudders, I need to pull back my left rudder while I do left main down. What a mess. Let's get our speed up. We want to approach 110, final approach at 107, touchdown at 104, but we're going to get sucked down, which I won't bore you with all that detail. Just keep in mind we're gonna land rough. Unless I goose the throttle while yanking back on my yoke and all that good stuff. We're going to try not to bounce this time, though, because we've been bouncing this thing, which infuriates me. But otherwise, here we go. Why does it feel like the crosswind is from the right? It should be from the left, shouldn't it? We have a really strong right crosswind. Okay, well, we'll make up for it then. So we're going to go right wing down, left rudder. Let's keep our speed up, though. Here we go. Goose it so we don't get sucked down. And coming down steep, but then we'll flare. We have lots of runway. We're STOL. There's our flare. Goosing it. And see, that's the suction. We didn't bounce, though. Nose down. Reversers. See my rudders. I don't have a finger free for my rudder. Sorry. That's why we went to the left. Ugh. Flaps coming in. And let go of reverses at 40. And we're going to make this turn? Nope. So anyway, as we roll this out, because that wasn't such a bad landing actually. My rudder control is on my yoke. I have the CH Eclipse. So when I needed right rudder, because we're going to the left, I needed right rudder. I didn't have right rudder because my right hand was on my throttle, because you have to goose it in this whatever. So I tried to pull back with my middle finger, and you can't. It doesn't work. It's not meant to do that. So I really need rudder pedals. Oh well. Otherwise, that wasn't so bad. Kept the nose wheel from slamming. We didn't bounce. We got sucked down, though. You heard me yank my yoke all the way back while we were way above stall speed, about 50 feet off the ground, and we still got sucked down. That's what it is. That's the problem. I have plenty of videos on that demonstrating successful and unsuccessful landings. So here we go. We're going to spin around. We're going really fast because brakes are not working. Slow down. There we go. There we go. We're going to stop right here once we clear the stop sign, because we don't have a co-pilot to help us. And parking brake, thank you. Come up here, turn on the taxi lights, turn on the landing light off, turn that on. Those can go out, those will spin around so people can see what they're doing, and then we can turn that on if you want to see. It looks like this, so everybody can gather their belongings. And here we go, flaps already in. Let's stop that clock too while we're down here. 33:42. Really? Seems faster than that. Parking brake off. Low idle. Here, actually, let's do this right. Let's bring this to low idle. Let's bring this back to taxi. And now, let's taxi out. And yes, those techs are my pilot friend. Again, the flying forehead. I send him pictures of my flights. We play guess that plane. Of course, he gets them all. He's a commercial 738 pilot. So he's flown all these on his way up. He knows every single plane. I can't stump him. Alrighty. So anyway. Let's just taxi out here, try to see someone on the taxi line, and we'll probably go to that big brown hangar, I think. But let's stick together during this taxi, and let's look at the scenery, because this is awesome. So welcome to Hamilton. I think that's where we are, Hamilton. See, backwards, see. Alright, anyway, looks like we're in a little valley. Otherwise, I am quite happy with that landing, despite the idiosyncrasies I get to deal with between the yoke and the simulator sucking down this particular plane. If you don't believe me, you can read all about it on the org forum. But anyway, I was very happy with that given the circumstances. Awesome. So let's see, we're just going to try to stay out of the way here, not clip that hangar with our wingtips, because that would not be cool. It feels like a big plane for this little airport. Otherwise, I think that's enough sightseeing of the airport. I'll meet you up here at this hangar. Alright, so we're going to turn this corner here, start slowing down just a little bit. And I think we'll actually do a replay of this landing. We haven't done a landing replay in almost a year. And that's because I was having issues with the simulator crashing every time I do a replay. But I think today we're going to try it. The fact that you're watching this means it didn't crash, right? So let's just try it here in a minute. We'll just kind of block the way. There we go. Just like that. Alright. Here we go. And it won't stop with regular brakes, so you got to set the parking brake. And let's have a check. Let's check out the replay and see what this landing actually looked like. Alright, so here we are coming over the water. Now I do have a preset to get rid of the playback bar up there, but I forgot what it was. So here we are. See, I'm trying to flare. I'm yanking back. See, we got sucked down. Wasn't bad though. Not bad at all. And I kept the nose wheel from slamming down. So, not bad. And then there, see, I had no right rudder because my hand was busy on the throttle, that is. Alright, let's back that up and let's see if we can get a runway view, if I can remember what the runway view is. It's been a long time. Let's back this up so I have a chance to at least try. Is it 3? It is 3. There we go. And yeah, no, the crosswind was from the left like it was supposed to be. It felt like the right, but no, it's from the left. And there we go. Boom. That actually isn't so bad. Let's do... Gosh, what's the tower view? Not that one. I don't know. I can't remember. 1? Nope. That's not it either. I don't know. Let's get a passenger view then. I backed it way up so we can look over this lake. Since we can't do sightseeing when we're landing, you either have to do it from the replay mode or not at all. So we'll just have this nice thing over the lake. I guess I can close this manually. I just don't remember my preset to get it back, but that's okay. I'll look it up and write it down. Very nice. Looks like we're gonna land right on the water, and we're actually kind of high too. And there we go. There we go. Not terrible. Only way it could have been better is to have actual rudder pedals. But we'll get there someday. Someday we'll be famous enough to afford rudder pedals. Alright, let's hop back to real time and park this thing. Alright, so here we are. Let's take out the shutdown checklist. We already did taxi. Alright, here we go. Taxi lights come off, turn the nav off. Oh yeah, that's right. This stuff is all like screwed up when you do a replay. See, buttons are missing. They're not even there. That's really funny. Anyway, let's bring conditioners to idle, props back. I should have done props first. We missed the awesome sound. And let's do external power. And we could go through and click all this stuff, but we're not going to. We're just going to open up the windows and open this. There we go. And hop to here. And all right, everybody. Yes, I'm talking to you. Out. Everybody out. There we go. And we're inside the building. So let's move over here a little bit. All right, let's see. What do we want to do? We want to get the passenger and baggage open and static elements. And there we go. Oh, we got some lights on because I can't tell what they are because of the whole... That's better. Nope, we still got that one on. Which one is that? The flashing, isn't that one of those? Isn't that what these are? Whatever. It's going to flash because I can't see which position it's in. Anyway, whatever, you get the idea. So, hopefully you enjoyed the flight. I certainly did. We're going to do a few more of these 50 state legs before we do another subscriber request. So, in the next flight, we are going to North Carolina. But we'll talk about North Carolina when we get there. We are in New York today. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight. I certainly did. I'm quite pleased with that landing. Like I said, given the idiosyncrasies, but very acceptable given what we deal with. So anyway, if you found my accent, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends, your fellow subscriber. Thank you for your continuing support. New York today, North Carolina in a few days. I'll catch you on the next one.